Welcome to Toffee TV, that time of game, and I'm joined by Tony from across the pond, looking sharp. She's got a Chicago Toffees Hummel top on. Look at it, nice, very nice. Tony, how are you? It's been a while, and it's been 3 or 4 months since we had a good catch up. So, how are you, mate?
We're all good. Things are moving in the right direction, COVID-wise. So people starting to get vaccinated. Hope it's all looks like it's all moving in the right direction for you lot as well back home. So, but yeah, no, everything's good. Lots of exciting stuff going on for the US Blues, which is keeping us all busy and creating a little bit of a buzz out here. I hope we can have a little bit more luck on the pitch and things start to turn the right way there. But yeah, all's good, mate. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, this weekend there's the fans forum. Is the vote still going on, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah,
a lot of stuff gone out on Twitter and things like that. So tell me a little bit about that. What's going on with that? So what does that say?
We've been pushing that out. So as you say, we're in the middle of the recruitment drive at the moment. So we've got 5 places that are up for grabs. So five of the existing forum are moving away because their term comes to an end.
Yeah.
So as you say, we've been pretty active on sort of all the social media platforms, trying to get people interested in being part of that. So the application is open until Sunday, until midnight UK time. So if anybody's interested and thinks they've got something to offer in giving Evertonians a voice, then we'd encourage them to apply. Say a little bit about what the forum does in a minute, just as a reminder.
Yeah.
Things maybe we're working on at the moment. But just in terms of process, if you click on the link, it's on the EFC fans forum bit of the main club website.
Yeah.
There's a very short form. Just asks you a little bit about yourself and, as I say, what have you got to offer? And then that'll be sifted. There'll be an interview with fans forum panel, and then it's up to Evertonians. Then it goes to a fan vote and all the lobbying and all the politicking goes on. So we're hoping to have those new members in place by June.
Okay.
That'll be the first point. So yeah, look, we'd love to hear from as many people as they can. And if people are unsure what it's like or how to go about it, or they've got concerns or questions, then they can get in touch with us through the social media channels or email us in any way they want to. So, and just to explain a little bit about how we're organised. So we meet monthly with the club.
Yeah.
We have a engagement with them every month with the club engagement team generally, and then they will bring in other people from different parts of the club or even the club's partners, depending on what the issue is. We don't stop. We don't just meet on those months. We do quite a lot of work in between those meetings to sort of keep various projects and issues moving. And it's sort of what we try to organise it into themes and issues. So we've got an atmosphere group. Obviously, that hasn't been as active over the last period for obvious reasons, although it was heavily involved in getting feedback from supporters on how Goodison should look, post project restart. Also was involved in, when we had those couple of fixtures where fans were allowed back in, working with the club, making sure, the protocols and the safety and the fan experience was, working well on that. So, they were involved in that. We've got a catering group as well. Again, that's been sort of less active for obvious reasons, but we have sort of listened to what people have said around you sort of using local suppliers and having local suppliers. Home baked was one of them in and around the ground, and that's something we'll continue obviously as we look forward to the next number of years in our new stadium. So yeah, that'll be important. Retail is another area, so we've got a dedicated project group on that. So everybody's got an opinion on retail and shirts and whether the everything stays on the shirt or not. So Lisa Vaughan leads that group as well, and we've been quite active actually in that one, particularly in trying to get, actually this is relevant for sort of the international bit as well, in trying to make sure there's more visibility and accessibility of Everton merchandise in store, but also sort of online and sort of trying to impress on the club to improve the distribution as well. You and I have talked about that for ages.
Definitely.
So that's another bit. The other bit which we've tried to sort of build on in the last sort of number of months is our communication. So we got a little bit of feedback that people didn't always know what we were up to and what conversations were happening. So we do produce minutes on the website. I'm conscious and we're conscious that not everybody reads minutes. So we've introduced a podcast. So we do that every month, just to try and keep people updated.
Like an update, yeah.
Yeah, it's a short sort of half an hour, 40 minutes on some of the key themes that we, that we're talking about. So that's what we do there. And then, obviously the one that I'm sort of, certainly most active and involved in is the international group.
Yeah.
So
with that international accent, it is. So
that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Garston tones. Yeah, I know. So yeah, obviously since I've been out here, sort of trying to sort of elevate and give international fans, a bit more of a say in what's going on. It was the first time there's been international. Me and Joe Riley as well from the Irish Toffees, sort of started that off. So, and I think that hopefully that's moving. So look, there's loads of things to get involved with. I'm sure we'll talk about international in a minute. The other big thing to mention, obviously, is the stadium. We've been very active in that all along, but I think now we've got the application, moving and approved. We'll be setting up something specific around the next phase of engagement on the stadium. There's all sorts of issues, isn't there, to work through in terms of pricing and seating arrangements and fan experience. So that's that we're going to be setting up a specific project group on that. So look, if people want to get involved, we'd love to hear it. We want as much representation from different parts of the fan bases that we can get. So if you've got something to offer, then get in touch with us.
So yeah, I'll put the link in the description, and then if people have got, we'll take them through to the form, and they can register their interest in it, and then. And it's a good way, isn't it? If you've got opinions about the club and you want to be part of it. I know there's been criticism of the fans forum, and I'm not going to sidestep that. People have criticised it, but this is a process you did. You went through. You wanted to get involved because I think you probably felt, listen, I think it needs to look at other things, so I want to get involved. And you went through this process, and here you are now. And I guess the other thing, what you mentioned as well there, so was you talking about the stadium. Just remind me, how long's a term when you get on the fans forum?
So it's 3 years initially. So again,
if you get on it this June, you're basically on the term as we're going into the stadium, aren't you? So it's a brilliant time to get involved, really, and be part of probably the biggest thing, regardless of whether Everton becomes successful or not. This is the biggest thing we will see in our lifetime, our football club moving to a new ground on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey. It's huge, isn't it? Historic,
absolutely.
Unbelievable event.
And if you think about it, it's not just, how do we prepare as well for that move? It's around how do we make sure we can continue to ensure, the Everton way and everything is protected through that, and obviously
get our home and everything
exactly else. And how do we make sure we don't lose people, and that that's going to be important. So yeah, look, get involved, and as I say, if people have got ideas on how we can improve things at the forum, then look, we're open all ears. That's we tried to respond to some of that. So keep giving us feedback. Well,
if the best way, isn't it, is to get involved. You can't beat them, then join them and do it that way. Oh, I'm talking to people who are hypercritical about it, by the way, who maybe it's this or they're in the club's pocket or whatever. Well, go and get involved then. Try to become one, a member of the fans forum. Go on the inside and then see and then get your points across, and you will see there has been changes. It has improved, and obviously you are key to being involved in a lot of the decision making, which affects us all as fans. So. It's very easy to sit and criticise and not do anything about it. The easiest thing in the world, isn't it?
It certainly is. So yeah, look, these are people that are prepared to give up their own time to try and get involved and change things. And I'll tell you now, there's some difficult conversations that go on. There's some, there's people with sort of strong opinions on there. So, we're more than prepared to represent that. So as you say, we'd love to get people involved.
Excellent. Well, tell me a little bit about the international stuff, because I know that you are the cheerleader. You are the man driving the bus. You and Joe, not cheerleader, but I meant you're.
That is it.
No, well, I don't know. I mean, you're carrying the beard off quite well, so I'm not going to lie. Thanks, mate. It's looking good. So obviously you and Joe have been instrumental in this, and we're in at the very start. But where are we up to now? You've donned a lovely Hummel Chicago Evertonian top there, which is, I know that's a brilliant thing you've done with Hummel, which a lot of the international supporters clubs in America have got their own logo with it, which is absolutely fantastic. But what's been going on since the last time we spoke? Because we spoke last time about the impact James Rodriguez had on joining the club, and how we grow in this time where we're in a global pandemic and people can't look at Goodison Park from afar and see fan limbs everywhere, and it gets you involved. Has there been challenges about getting people to support Everton when they're not doing great, and there's an empty stadium and different things like that, and you can't mix together in the pubs and the normal things we're used to? So what's been going on with there, and how have the challenges been? What you found?
Well, I think what's interesting about the last period, obviously with aside from all the challenges that everybody's had sort of on a personal level, what it's shown is that you can actually do things like me and you chatting now, and you can do online stuff that means that you can really drive and connect and build that engagement and growth. Exactly. We've lots of people have had to adjust in that in work, haven't they? It's your day job. You're used to doing this, but everybody's now an expert in Zoom, Teams. You sent me some other technology yesterday that
it works good normally.
It did work. But so I think what that's shown is that where there's a will, people can really find different ways of connecting. And I think what I've seen over the last period is that's only been strengthened. So if you look at the US supporter league community, one example of that is we've now started to meet regularly. We have like a monthly meeting where supporter club leads come together. And that's sort of, we'll talk a bit about Hummel in a minute, but that's where the Hummel thing came from. It actually was where some of the ideas for this Everton USA live event.
Brilliant, which we can get onto in a minute, and you need to sort one with us that we've done an Australian one, which was
I saw
a lot of people, and it was brilliant just to talk to Evertonians in Australia. So I'm putting that back squarely on your feet. But anyway, go on, carry on.
I've heard it. So very happy to. Let's try and sort something out on that.
Definitely, because
I think the groups would love to do that.
Yeah.
So look, I think people have found different ways to connect, and I think that's just helped sort of build the community. I mean, in terms of the fans forum, I think we've continued to try and push on the issues. The big one's retail, mate.
I
don't think I need to sort of go over the issue again, but we've been pretty constant and consistent in banging on the club's door, and what they can do with fanatics now. They're working on it.
Good.
I haven't got a concrete sort of update to say this is what's going to happen and when. But I can tell you that every meeting and every opportunity and every time someone raises this with us, we do. I think some of this is cyclical as well. So they look at the timing of when there's going to be new releases and what have you, and sort of align with that. So if something does happen, sort of improving on the distribution and in-store presence, I think that's going to be nearer to the launch of the new season's merchandise. So again, you've got to look at sort of some of the distribution timescales as well. So but we're pushing on that. We've been specifically working with a group of the Irish Toffees on that to try and get a presence in store, because they've
struggled, haven't it?
They've been, and I get it. It's sort of same out here. We've been doing the same sort of with the US. Sort of making practical suggestions on which retail outlets could be considered, how to improve that. So look, let's hope that continues. But we'll keep pushing that. That's good. The other one has been the communication. So you remember we did the survey last year. One of the big things that came back was how can the clubs better connect, supporters clubs, and how can they grow, and what support can they get from the club. So the feedback we've given the club on that has been taken on board. So even the event is part of that on Saturday. They've done Zoom meetings with some of the supporters clubs across the world. They've introduced a supporters club of the match, and before the home games as well with Everton Live. So again, to be honest with you, the club itself said to us that they recognise that they could do things differently now. So I think that's good. They did the Sligo Rovers event the other week. I don't know if you saw that, but that brought fans together from Sligo and Everton as part of that partnership. I managed to get along to that, and it was great. An hour and a half of Seamus was there, and
brilliant.
Kilban came, and some of the Sligo guys as well. But it just showed what can be done. There's a fan wall there. So look, we're going to continue to force that. So, but what's great about what's happening in the US now as well is that there's like a real movement that's sort of building. I think the connection between the clubs, as I said, has been critical to that. And, you know, people are coming up with ideas, you know, and, you know, what can we do to sort of keep building? And that's how the Hummel thing came up.
Excellent. So go on, just for anyone who doesn't know, just give us a quick, brief synopsis of what's happened with Hummel and how you've got, you know, where you are now with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started from a little bit of a moan. So we were moaning about sort of, you know, we couldn't get any Everton stuff out here. And then actually we saw some of the stuff that the Emerald Island Toffees had done, and also Tommy Lowe in Singapore, the Singapore group, you know, they had Hummel stuff with, you know, with their badges on.
I could have put mine on actually, couldn't I, with that Toffee TV one? But anyway, go on.
You should have done. We saw that, and then that just sort of prompted a little bit of chat in our sort of WhatsApp, you know, community chat there, and came up. And then we thought, well, why can't we do that? And wouldn't it be good if we could do that as a collective? You know, there's over 40 groups out here.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if we could use that, get out there in our community, start spreading the word and what have you. It'd be great for branding, you know, own little mini ambassadors. So, to be honest with you, we just went to Hummel USA and said, you know, what do you think about this? And they were like, straight on it. Yeah, okay. Let's have a meeting in the next couple of days. Let's see what we can do. They were dead receptive. You know, Hummel out here, their target market is sort of community-based soccer as well.
Okay.
So they do a lot of sort of youth soccer. They do stuff at a little bit higher level as well. But so they're interested in having people out there with their brand. So there's a bit of exactly. You know, it was good for them in terms of their profile. So that sort of then developed. We checked it back with, you know, the supporters groups. They were, you know, lots of them there. There's 35 that are now signed up. So there we go. We got an initial range out. There's a few t-shirts, a few tops and hoodies. And yeah, people are loving it. People responded really well. And then we managed to arrange that, you know, a proportion of the proceeds to go to Everton in the community as well.
Brilliant.
So that's a great little thing. Hummel also said that they would add another donation to EITC depending on number of units sold as well. So, you know, everyone gets a little bit.
A little kick of it. Yeah, it's excellent.
Exactly. So I was talking to them last week. So I think we're now looking at sort of introducing a new range for the summer. So so look out for that. So yeah, we'll keep doing that. The club got on board with it as well, which is great. So they sort of helped us you know, promote that, which was a really strong signal. I think what they liked was that it came from the supporters as well.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, I think, you know, we'd like to do it maybe in other parts of the world now as well. See if we can
get started
a bit.
Well, that's what we want, don't we? You know, it's our club, so we need to be flying the flag, and sometimes it will involve us dragging the club along as well. Let's be honest, because we're both old enough to know that our club doesn't really move at a rapid pace when you want it to do things. So every bit we can do, we need to do, don't we? And especially if the club are now listening and receptive to it, then brilliant. Then things will move along. We'll go on, talk about the event, because it's something we've seen certainly again on social media this week. It's really been bigged up. Everton have had it on their website. So what's happening? It's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, Everton USA live. So this was I mean, I remember when I came on to talk to you when I was going for the fans forum, we talked about how great it'd be to have everyone together, whether that be in the UK, but specifically in the US, to, you know, a bit of a fan festival. So, you know, the concept's been around for a long, long time. And, you know, there was rumours, wasn't there, that the club was going to be out here for pre-season.
Pre-season,
obviously that didn't happen for obvious reasons. And I still think there was a little glimmer of hope that they might be out this summer. But obviously as things sort of evolved, it sort of became pretty clear that wasn't going to happen. Anyway, so look, this was something an idea that was generated within the group. You know, we talked about, you know, is this something that we could do? A physical event. And then when we realised we couldn't do it together, we then sort of changed it slightly and said, well, look, let's do a virtual event. So again, we put a little proposal together, a little outline agenda, some themes, ping that over to the club. They were like, yeah, we're up for this. Obviously, you know, they're doing their own stuff, aren't they, out here as well. So I think it sat with their agenda. And then it's just escalated. We got a little bit formal. We even pulled together a little working group of people out here to build on that. We're getting a little bit of structure. So And they've been working on different parts of the agenda. So and here we are now. It's sort of happened quite quickly. So it's open to. It's obviously targeted at the the US and North America audience. The club's international strategy. It's going to be. I think it's going to be like a 5-hour event. So it's all day. So yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock my time. So I think that's 6 o'clock UK time. Yeah. And Tim Howard's been confirmed. Marcel's coming. So we can ask him about his transfer plans in the summer.
Excellent. It'd be good to hear someone ask him, because the only time I ever hear him is when he speaks to Dutch press. So it'd be good to hear some people actually asking him something.
Well, it's interactive as well, so that'll be good. There'll be there's going to be an interactive fan wall there.
Just remind them so that we need a right back, a right winger, another centre midfielder, regardless of our manager trying to blag us that we don't. And, a centre for. I mean, that's got to have been very tongue in cheek what Carlo was saying, because
he's got a track record there, hasn't he? He's sometimes a little bit creative with the tweet, isn't he?
With the tweet, so fair enough. So make sure you pin Marcel down on that. But yeah, I've seen Abdoulaye Doucouré. That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be again.
He's coming as well. And I suspect there's probably a few others as well, because there's plenty of ex Blues out here as well. So. That'll be good. There's even going to be a session with the club's engagement team as well. So excellent. The supporter group leads, there's going to be a session to sort of get some ideas and a little bit more understanding. What do the clubs need to keep growing and what have you. So I think that's a good prospect. There'll be a little bit of fun, bit of a quiz, bit of a fundraiser for EITC. So I think as well, you'll know about this, but David France has been working on his latest book about Toffee soccer with Darren Griffiths and Rob Sawyer. About all the links between North America and Everton. So I think there'll be a little bit of a feature on that, which will be great. And look, it all ties in perfectly, doesn't it, with sort of the club's next phase of their international strategy.
I mean, I was just going to go on to that from that. The club have announced this week that they're trying to strengthen that. So I mean, what have you took from that, Tony? You're very encouraged by the news this week that it is a case of trying to build on, because it's all very easy, isn't it, to sign James Rodriguez and go, he's great, we'll put a billboard in Miami and we'll have one in Times Square and he's going to bring us loads of fans and we want offices in America, and then it all goes very quiet. And we understand why it went a lot quiet. We're dealing with a global pandemic. It's not easy. But I was really encouraged myself this week when I seen the next phase of that. We've already seen a tie-up with affiliated club affiliation in America. We see that announcement was made a few months ago, but this week is a much stronger one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is personally, and I'm really encouraged to see it all come together. I think you're right. The announcements in this, when we signed Hammers and what have you, were really promising. I think again, you and I talked, didn't we? Around we saw a different reaction from the club. In terms of moving that, which was really encouraging. But I think you make a dead important point there about sort of capitalising on Hammers and the commercial growth that can provide is great. And clearly, Jürgen Manker, who's been brought in, is there to drive or help support that commercial strategy that the club is on. Within its new sort of expanded international team in the club. And going after those partnerships is going to be fundamental, isn't it, to the growth for all sorts of reasons. But and I keep sort of saying this to the club as well, you've got to do that in a sustainable way. If Hammers, let's be honest, if Hammers moves to, Spurs next week, then, the Colombian fans are probably going to be Spurs fans.
Exactly, yeah.
So working with, the existing network of supporters clubs and groups and people on the ground, I think is going to be just as an important part of that strategy. And again, and it is, the club have sort of set out, I think, 5 or 6 areas, which includes, strengthening retail, the partnership program, the affiliate program, the soccer schools, but also, working with the fan base. And Jürgen made all the right noises yesterday around, your core base is got to drive all this. So I think that's really important. So we need to make sure they don't lose sight of that. But
I was just going to say one thing. I'd love to see me and people are probably bored with the amount of times me and Ped have gone on about Everton going to America, because it's something that I think David Moyes knew what we should be doing at that time. He loved America, didn't he? Yeah. And I don't think the club ever you know, we played the MLS All-Star game and we had to wear a training kit and things like that. You know, we had big games against Philadelphia Union, and Tim Howard didn't play even though he was there, and think just little tricks that Everton missed, and then we stopped going.
That's right.
Which is a bit mad. And other people have had the march on us now, you know, and the other lot that aren't too far away from us do it really well. But what we'd like to see, and I don't know whether you'd agree with this but we'd like to see Everton go over to America when they can. I understand we're in a global pandemic, but go over to America, even if it was for 10 days, play a couple of games, maybe take the women's team, and maybe take the under 21, the under 23s or the 18s or whatever. But also, I think I've said this to you before, but also while they're there, really go to a couple of places or set up a camp in Georgia, say for argument, Atlanta in Georgia for argument's sake. Yeah. Do it for like a week, but have like a couple of players there. Try and grab some of these kids that are finding soccer, that are loving soccer.
Completely.
Give some Everton stuff out, whatever it may be. But have the players that play the game there, do the coaching there, and really make people feel like Everton actually wanna grow here, and then deliver it for a few years on the run. Not just not one and done and they're gone, but an event, because you could theoretically have training camp for kids, coaching, a game in the night with Everton's ladies against Everton's women against women's soccer in the US is huge and has been forever. You know, then a 23 game, and then the bit Everton versus Atlanta United at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and you could and hopefully capitalise on that, because that's the way to grab people, isn't it? Rather than just going, oh, we're affiliated with this USL club in blah blah blah, and every now and again they'll send us a player to look at. Try and strengthen it, because there's 320 million in that. It's a continent, not a country, is it? It's a continent. So there's a real
huge opportunity. There's huge opportunity. And I think you're right. And look, I think they're the types of things that the club's thinking about. But you're right. You know, it touches on a point I was making about it being sustainable. You can't just do this as a one-off. No. And to be honest, that was the idea of the event for us. Is this now becomes like a staple part of
the year?
This, you know, it will now be an annual event. Hopefully next year it'll be in person. So, and you know, that'll happen with the club or not, sort of thing. But you're right, you know, to really sort of benefit from it, you know, we need the club to be doing all the sorts of things that you're doing. And I think that, you know, I think they get that. You know, and I think hopefully when times are a little bit better, we can do that. Obviously, you know, Jürgen Menke brings, you know, I don't know him, but you know what you read about him in terms of pedigree and his experience. He understands the market here. He's been in and around US soccer for 20 years. He's obviously worked into Miami. You know, he's worked for CONCACAF, so you know he's got real credibility. So you know, he'll know how the mindset of, you know, US fans works as well. The soccer, and also the soccer schools is going to be an important part of this. So they announced yesterday as well that they're going to launch soccer school program across 15 states.
Okay.
So again, that gives a bit more of a grassroots feel.
Well, we need to get people over there though, Tom, as well. It's all very well going.
Completely agree.
Everton do this. Everton are launching this, but it's like I have a 10-year-old who's footy mad, Everton mad. Atlanta United are doing a soccer school in Liverpool. Well, if no one from Atlanta United comes here, and then it just becomes like, you know, soccer schools that we saw for, you know, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, so, you're right. I don't disagree with anything you're saying there, mate. Having a presence here and being able to, you know, get the benefits of Tim Howard, really use, his
Kale over there. Kale, New York Red Bulls. He's still, I know he's in Qatar at the minute, but he's still at Finch Farm doing his stuff. You know, people like that, because he's better. Howard's a massive one. You know, there's other, Landon Donovan is a massive one. He's still a big US name, but he got that Everton link.
Yeah,
you know, we could do it all and try and grab some of these fantastic young players. You know, what we do for a Pulisic or, you know, people like that who are American kids.
Oh, well, that'd blow it out the water, wouldn't it? If we could, you know, maybe DK or someone we can. So yeah,
DK's one, isn't he? DK's one.
Everyone's lobbying for that over there. Maybe we can ask Marcel on Saturday.
Ask him about Pulisic as well, because he doesn't always get in at Chelsea. So I think he'd do all right at Everton.
Okay, we'll add that to your list. We'll say Baz also said.
Baz says, what about Pulisic on loan, even for a year? But no, I mean, they're the things.
I think it's moving in the right direction. And there's a lot of excitement here in terms of what can be done. So I think for me, it's just making sure that the people that are already here are involved. I also want to say as well, conscious that this network out here has been built up over a long time, and there's been a lot of people that have been involved in that. I feel a bit fortunate that we're out here at this time, but the likes of David Kurtz and Marshall Lamb, and yourselves as well, and Eric Howell, the Folletonians movement and all that. So I'm conscious that a lot of people have sort of had a role in sort of getting.
They've been the groundwork as well, but definitely. Everyone, every single Evertonian who's wanted to get other people involved over there, it's absolutely brilliant, and that's why it is important that the club recognises that and goes out there and has a presence there, and basically so I can get out there as well and watch Everton in America. But but it is important because it's important to be here in our city, and we for too many years we probably have been too intrinsic, too L4, and all that. But it's great doing that if you say, well, you know what, we're happy to just survive in the Premier League, brilliant, and we're just going to be this little inclusive club and we're all in. But we want to be winning trophies and we want to be getting bigger and bigger. And the only way to do it is to be global and reach out to people everywhere. And a lot of people out there don't know they're Evertonians yet. And hopefully we can convince them that they are.
We're trying to convert as many as we can. But I think you're right. I think we've suffered a little bit from maybe being, a little bit, as you say, focused in and around L4.
Go the match and all that.
I get that. I'm from Liverpool. I was proud of that, actually.
So was I, mate. So was I.
Especially with the other one. But you're right. It changes. And having been out here, and seen the depth and the strength of love for Everton, let's take the opportunity and hopefully it can help in other parts of the football club as well. So yeah, we're excited and looking forward to it.
Is there anything else that we've missed that is going on?
I think that's it for now. There's a few other little ideas that are bubbling under, but it might be a little bit early to talk.
Okay, no, well, obviously we'll catch up.
Gives me an excuse to come and see it again.
Oh, definitely. And just before I let you go, how have you found the season? Because it's hard to not look at it at the moment and go, we've missed a big opportunity here. But then probably loads of teams are doing exactly the same.
I think it is. I think it is, but I mean, you're absolutely right. Everybody's been affected by this. You only have to have a look at the other a lot over the park to see that this has been just a completely upside down season. Clearly though, the frustration is that we've had so many opportunities to grasp, and I mean, how often have we had this conversation about we've missed it again, or if only we beat, and if we get a point against, or if we get 3 points against, we will be. And it hasn't happened. I mean, look, I'm still a believer in Carlo and the project and all the rest of it for sure. But you just can't help being so disappointed and frustrated because when we go back to that, other than the new signings, when we go back to that core squad, it's still largely the same group of players that we've been complaining about for a few years now. So if we can, when we're maybe a little bit less emotional after we've just drawn against the likes of Brighton and what have you, and reflect and say, well, you know what, should we be really that surprised that we haven't been able to find out a result? Maybe not, but it's hard not to get emotional, isn't it?
We're all toil springs, aren't we? Because it's been that long that and I think that because the way the world is at the moment, football becomes it shouldn't do, but it becomes a massively important thing. And every year that we don't do anything, we become more desperate to do something. And when you don't, it feels like we've missed another opportunity. But it is what it is. The manager needs more players. It's as simple as that. We've brought in a manager that's used to world-class players. It'd be absolutely ridiculous not to back him, because we may as well have just given it to a manager who only wants $2 million a year and will quite happily scrap and fight for mid-table. So, we do have to back him. But you're right. Well, yeah, hopefully
we kick on.
We'll kick on, and we've to try and win as many games as possible. If we get into Europe, fantastic. But we have to back the manager in the summer and then take it forward from there, don't we? And then we really will be growing over there in America, because
we will. So yeah, we'll have European football to talk about when you come and visit us next year.
Champions League when we come and visit you next year, hopefully. Tony, listen, great to talk to you. I'll put that link in the description. Don't forget, if you want to have your opportunity to try to get on the fans forum, click the link and fill the form. And if you've got something to say, if you're not happy with some stuff, or you want to build on the stuff that the fans forum are doing, get involved. Tony did. Tony filled the form in because he had something to say. He was angry about some stuff. He wanted to make a difference, and he sat here, and I was part of it. You can do the same. Tony, listen, I love speaking to you. It's always a pleasure when you come on, mate.
Likewise. Thanks
stay safe. Stay safe, and we will obviously chat very soon.
Cheers, Baz. Look after yourself. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Cheers, so take care, mate.
See ya.
There you go. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you click the link if you want to try and become part of the fans forum. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. See you later.